Hello, vinyl fans, and welcome to another episode of Let's Clean a Record. Today, we want to give you a tour of the library, the music library, where we store our vinyl and CDs. We recently did some redecorating. We brought the CDs from upstairs down into the main library. In that process, we purged several hundred recordings, which I think is fun. I periodically like to go through the collection and take out those records that maybe just didn't do it for us, or where we have duplicates, and trade them in at the local record store, get them back into circulation, and hopefully into the hands of someone who will enjoy them. Well, in that process, I realized that a really great album, this one right here, I only had on CD. And I thought, we should go find this on vinyl. There's lots of records out there, lots of pressings, including Chad Kassem. He did this on 45 RPM, top quality audiophile special, very expensive. This is a mid-70s reissue, and I would highly recommend it. It's not that expensive, and it's a way to get into Ornette, Coleman, and that early movement of free jazz. This is from 1959. What a quartet. You got Don Cherry on cornet, Charlie Hayden on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums. It is a phenomenal album. Can't recommend it highly enough. In fact, if you are familiar with the Penguin Guide to Jazz, they rated this album for years and years, from the first edition of this, as 4 stars. There is a coveted 5th star. It's actually a crown they give to certain recordings. And it wasn't until the 9th edition of this particular book that they gave it the crown that it deserves. I always thought it deserved to be right up there with Miles Davis' Kind of Blue, and Sonny Rollins' Saxophone Colossus, and Bill Evans' Waltz for Debbie, who have always gotten that star, or I should say crown rating, so that 5th star. In any case, we're going to do a little tour of the studio. Would love to hear from you fellas. How do you store your vinyl, CDs, tapes, whatever it is your medium of choice is? And then we'll get to cleaning this record. So let's get to it. Okay, fellas, welcome to the music library. There are a few books here, but let's face it, it's mostly music. As you can see, we're big fans of the IKEA Calyx system. In fact, we did a previous episode on how to get the best out of Calyx. There'll be a link below for that. But what we did a few weekends ago was to move the CD towers, which were up in a second bedroom, down to the library, and I think it turned out nice. I love these CD towers. They're also from IKEA, but I don't think they're making them anymore, which is a real shame. I like very much the way they fit flat against the wall and accommodate the baseboard below. As I mentioned before, we had to get rid of quite a few CDs, but I look forward to the credit that we'll receive from the local record store, Recycled Records. Find some new music to listen to. You know, Steve Guttenberg, if you're a fan of his, he occasionally will ask his viewers to send in pictures of their systems. In fact, our system was featured on one of his episodes. I'd love to see pictures, videos of your media storage rooms. How are you keeping your records, CDs, tapes, whatever your medium of choice is? Love to see that. There'll be a link below. Show us what you got. Okay, fellas, here's the approach we're going to take to clean this wonderful album. In examining it and looking at the dirt in the groove, there was quite a bit. And also, we think we smelled some organic material. I suspect this album was in the home of a smoker. So we want to give it an enzymatic solution bath before we put it into an ultrasonic bath. We'll use the KL Audio for that. But to accomplish that, we have AIVS number 15, which is a nice combination of enzymatic solution and record clean formula. So we'll clean that each side with that, as well as a pure water rinse. Then we'll get it in the KL Audio. All right, let's get to it. Let's clean this record. You know, it's quite an honor that this album finally achieved the 5-star or crown rating in the Penguin Guide to Jazz. There are well over 14,000 reviews in that book. I bet they're approaching 15,000 by this time. And there's only about 80 that have ever received the crown rating. So well-deserved, overdue, I think, for this wonderful album. All right, let's get to cleaning it. that sit for a few minutes. Give it a nice pre-soak. All right, time to agitate that liquid. Let's pick on it a little. No, we're gonna physically agitate it. Go. As always, pure water rinse. Side 2. Once again, we'll let that sit for a few moments and then come back and agitate the liquid.
Neater, neater, neater.
Okay. Have it all ready for the KL audio. Let's get it into an ultrasonic bath. Okay, final thoughts and for the record. I hope you enjoyed our tour of our recently upgraded music library. We have a link below to our email address. Send us your pictures and videos, and we'll find a way to feature them in the future. As far as the cleaning process is concerned, it worked beautifully. This record was dead silent, and it sounded just glorious. Perhaps if I have someday maybe, the original pressing, original mono pressing, I can go to a greater extent, maybe put it through the full Kermis restoration process. But what we did for this worked just fine, and it sounds fantastic. If you are new to jazz and are shying away from the more experimental kind of jazz, free or just out there, I understand it's an acquired taste, but if you want to explore that, this is an excellent album to start. 1959's The Shape of Jazz to Come. Go get this record. We'll see you at the next one.